and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lawrencia and this is Bantz with Lawrencia. Happy new month and happy independence to Nigeria. Happy independence to all my people. I am a Nigerian and we are celebrating October 1st, which is our independence. So we got our independence in 1960 and we are celebrating. Don't know what we're celebrating, but we have to celebrate at the same time. So for today's episode, hey, I want to talk about something. We are in October, and if you know that everybody that is going to have celebrations in Christmas or, December period, this is now that everybody's preparing for weddings, for funeral, for birthdays, for family get-together, like traditional marriage, everything, all the shebangs. People are now planning. I mean, if you've been planning previously, Christmas time is when you actually start putting your budget together, start paying deposits and all that. So somebody on Twitter, let me just read that tweet for you. Somebody on Twitter, Sally Suleiman, gave a wedding breakdown, and she was breaking down with 10 million Naira wedding. I mean, if you hear 10 million Naira wedding, you think, oh my God, that's, a massive expensive. It is for those who can't afford it. But for those who have 10 million, spending 10 million is no-brainer, So she gave a breakdown of a 10 million Naira wedding just for those who are shouting that 10 million is too much. So she tweeted, 10 million Naira wedding / trad breakdown. Hall, 700,000. Deco, 700,000. Food, 2,500 per plate times 400 people. If 300 guests, like if you're having 300 guests, basically you have to order 400 for 400 people, just for people who are going to go for second rounds, people are going to take home. So this is what she's basically saying. And for people who are going to be who are going to show up uninvited. So if you're planning for 300 people, just pay for 400 people. And then so for the 200 per plate, for 400 people is basically 1 million Naira. For drinks, 1 million Naira. Media, which is photography, pictures, just, video coverage of the whole thing. She said is 500,000 Naira. Bride's outfit, she said is 300,000. That is so cheap for 2 outfits. I don't know. Shoes, she said is 30,000 Naira. Hair and makeup, she said is 150,000. Men's outfit, she said is 200,000. Ring, she said is 200,000. MC and DJ, 300,000. Ushering, 100,000. Hotel for 2 nights, maybe because you need to relax before the wedding, basically, or stay closer to the venue. And for 2 nights, she said is 100,000. She went ahead to say for cake is 150,000. Souvenir takeaways is 400,000 Naira. Security is 150,000. And she said transportation, if not far, let's say you are in Enugu and you're hosting, the wedding is in Enugu, so just through and fro, she said is 100,000. Outfits for both, because after the wedding you have to do like Thanksgiving, or maybe you have to change outfits. But since she has already 2 outfits for the wedding, so let's say this is for Thanksgiving and is for 250,000 Naira. Now food and drinks, because even after the wedding, I'm talking about the Thanksgiving now, you still have to spend money. People will come and greet you and all that. So that is 500,000. And cake for that day, if you're feeling, you want to spend more, is 80,000. So she said, let us stop here. Now I am going to be analyzing this, because a lot of people came out and said, this is too much. Like, this is way too much. I think one thing I've learned about any wedding or any celebration, whether birthday, whether get together, whether even just having friends over, you have to first of all tell yourself the truth, have a budget. Looking at this breakdown, a lot of people said this is too expensive, like 10 million for just a wedding, for just something that people are just going to come and celebrate with you, that is too much. But the reality is, this is just the the big budgets, like the big spending, the big things, the obvious things that you're going to spend on, there are so many uncertainties that are going to crop up when you're planning for wedding. Let me just give you a kind of a personal experience in wedding planning. So in 2019, I was engaged, and we're looking at, wedding, when are we going to get married, how are we going to get married, and we're just discussing, people, how many people are going to be there. He wanted a big wedding, like over 1,000 people. And I'm like, hey, 1,000 people, like, how is that going? How are we even go? Because I don't have Oprah money, and he does not have Bill Gates money. So immediately I knew, because as a project manager, I knew we're going to go into debt if we're going to sponsor that wedding. So what I did was I sat down. I was like, okay, maybe if I kind of break everything down to the cost and show it to him, maybe he might change his mind and all that. So I took a spreadsheet, because he was talking about, oh, is it not just venue? Even if venue is a million naira, even if the food is 1.5 million, deco, you cannot get highest is 500,000. So he had that big budget in his head, which for him is affordable. But then again, I was saying that, listen, we're in the UK. Just for us to transport, buy a ticket, go back to Nigeria, through and fro, we're going to be in Nigeria, we're going to go to different states, because you are from a different state, I am from a different state. We're going to travel to these states. Just the logistics alone in that is going to take half of the budget that you are planning for, that you are budgeting for. Just logistics of that is going to take half of the budget. So what are we actually talking about? I've done a video where I talked about mortgage or a wedding. So in my head at that point, I was thinking, we don't have any investment. Like, I want an investment. I want a house. Like, I don't want to get married and then come back home with all this mountain of debt, and then we're just, you have all these people, you celebrate them, you celebrate with them. It's a beautiful picture. You can show your kids and all that, but is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? So based on my calculation, I was like, this is not, I am not prepared to spend this amount of money. A lot of people were looking at me like I was crazy. Like, you are the woman. You should be the one, asking him to spend all this amount of money. But we were just two different people in terms of finances. We couldn't agree on finance. We couldn't agree, like, investment. It was just, we're good together, but in terms of bringing our finances together, we're just totally different people. That relationship ended. We did not get married. So yeah, that was it. So I can understand in terms of budgeting for a wedding, in terms of planning for a wedding. It's a ridiculous amount of money that you're going to be spending. Obviously, these people are in Nigeria, so I'm not even comparing my situation. The situation I'm comparing is the fact that, you sit down and make your plans, and you think about just the big spending, just the hall, just the cake, just the food, just the decor. Just, these are the obvious things that you're going to be spending on. But there are so many, uncertainties, so many things. You can even just wake up one day and, hey, cost of living. I mean, we all know the cost of living. Maybe yesterday you were thinking the food seller told you you're going to pay 1 million naira, and they woke up this morning, Nigerian naira is pegged with dollars. So if dollars is now 800 naira, they will tell you, we told you 1 million, but today is going to be 2 million. So that happens. These are things that you might not be planning towards, but these are the things that happen when you're preparing for wedding. And secondly, when you have people, let's say you have bridesmaids, like, when I was making all these budgets, I was not preparing for a cheap bridesmaid. I was not even planning for, Ashwebi people. Like, that was not even part of my budget, because I was like, I think I am just different in the sense that I don't like stressing myself, especially if it's going to be something that I am celebrating. Like, surprise me. I am one of those people that I'd rather just walk into where they'll be like, oh my God, I'm getting married today. Let's do it. They say wedding is for, the couple, but it's not. It's for the family. It's for, extended family. It's for family and friends to come together to celebrate you. And how you choose to do that, it's your business. On the other hand, I am very big with, let's say, anniversaries or renewal of vows. I am very big with that. Like, I can go, or let's say I do a wedding and it's just small something, just getting family and friends together. But now getting together to amalgamate your finances together, there's a good chance that you guys can save together, and then you're able to have that massive anniversary or massive renewal of vows that you can easily pay for, because now you understand each other, you understand how you're going to save money, and you plan towards that as a couple. Because most times when people are single, planning to get married, it's usually I don't think people talk about finances. I think one of the biggest challenge people have, that I have heard about and I have also experienced, is the fact that people are not honest with their finances in relationship. So you can be dating somebody and they're driving Bantz, they're doing, wearing Gucci, designer and all that. And you're thinking, okay, this person can afford it. This person can, even if they're telling you, I want all the, like, hey, Tonto Dike. Let me tell you, Tonto Dike. Tonto Dike met Churchill and they started planning for their wedding. Churchill was this kind of fine boy, wearing designers, going for trips. She felt that this guy has money. So when they started planning for the wedding, Churchill, as per, he wanted a big wedding, but he was telling her that his goods are tied up somewhere, his containers were tied up somewhere, his money is tied up somewhere, so he couldn't pay for the wedding at that point in time. So he told her to go ahead, pay for everything. He was going to reimburse her. That was how Tonto Dike went out. She was paying. She said she paid even to the honeymoon. She was the one that booked that hotel that her husband. It's not funny. Like, she booked the hotel for honeymoon, and after the wedding, she said she slept with her husband and all. I think that was the point she was hammering on. Like, she paid for him to sleep with her, that kind of thing. So at the end of the day, she realized that Churchill was just an empty vessel. According to Tonto Dike, that's not it's what she said. So he was just there making noise like he didn't even have any money. So I think, for my personal experience and for my understanding, I think even if somebody is saying, like, we all know people we're going to be getting married to, like, if that person is planning for 100 million wedding, and you actually know that their job, or they cannot afford 100 million wedding, what they can actually afford is a 10 million wedding, my dear, why are you, whether man or woman, I don't think, even if it's, I strongly believe that even if you know that what you can afford is a 10 million wedding, and family and friends are coming together to say, let us sponsor 100 million wedding for you. Hey, give me the 90 million. I have a marriage to take care of. I have a marriage to take care of, and possibly popping our kids. So I need that 90 million to kind of, pay my way through until we kind of relax and balance. So maybe during 10 years anniversary, or maybe renewal of vows, we can actually spend 200 million if that is what we can afford at that time. So I think people are different. People can decide to spend their money whatever way they want, whether it's borrowed, whether it's credit card they're paying through. I mean, the whole world is in debt. Even the America we're talking about is in debt. China is in debt. UK is in debt. Nigeria is in debt. So everybody is in debt. Everybody is borrowing to survive. So if somebody now wants to borrow to do a wedding, it still is their choice. I mean, it's their choice. I love weddings. I love going to beautiful weddings and seeing how colorful it is, the decor, the music, the happiness that just fills the air. It is very nice. But I think we should also think about, after that wedding, think about the marriage. How is it going to look like? How is it going to look like? Are you going to pay 5,000 naira per plate food, and then when you now get into the marriage, you're drinking garri every day? Is it worth it? I think it's just about having that investment kind of mindset. I think I'm the kind of person that I am big on investments, whether in people or in anything. Don't spend what you cannot earn. That is one of my watchword. If I cannot earn it, I don't have to, unless it's an investment. I can borrow to invest, but let's say borrow to spend or borrow to consume is something I am not into, which is weird because it's just the way I am. Some people are happy to borrow to spend, borrow to consume. If I am not borrowing to invest, then it's not gonna happen. Like, no, nah, not happening. So I think people should just do what they want. The reason why I'm bringing this topic is to give people idea on how to kind of break down. I mean, even if you're planning for anything, let's say you have this as a basics, you look at it and you know that, okay, there are 101 things that are not there that you need to put in there. But once you plug those things in, it will give you the act. Don't think, okay, this is just 1 naira, let me leave it out. It's just, it's just 1 naira. Why should I put it in my budget? Put it there. Write it down, because all those things are going to add up and it's going to come and bite you at the end of the day. So the reason why I'm bringing this is for people who are planning a wedding, who are planning birthdays, anniversaries, or any occasion that you're planning on and you're thinking of, how am I going to budget these things? This kind of give you like a skeletal estimation of what things cost. So you do your own findings and you plug in those figures and ensure that every other thing is included. That will give you the actual cost. Like, there is an estimated cost and there's an actual cost. I think the problem is people just run with estimated cost and not looking at the actual cost of things. This is where people run into problems. This is where people say, oh, the budget, we budgeted for 1 million and now we're in the tens of millions. So that is the problem. So do your research, sit down and plan. Get that spreadsheet, open that spreadsheet, plan it, tell yourself the truth. Sometimes people just want to do things because others are doing it. My cousin had a big wedding. I must, outshine her. My sister's wedding was talk of the town. Mine will be the talk of the whole nation. I don't know. People should just do what they want. If you're the kind of person that live by the day, I just want to do this, I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, go ahead, live your life, love it. And I wish everybody preparing for the festive season, whether you're preparing to travel, whether you're preparing for marriage, whether you're preparing for wedding, any occasion, I wish you all the best with your plans and with your budget. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. If you think that you've planned a wedding and you've come out of it and you've spent 3, 4, 5 times your budget? Let me know. How did you go about your planning? How did you go about your estimation? And how did you go about, putting, a buffer, or let's say contingencies in place to ensure that you don't spend way above your budget? Let me know. I'd like to know. So please like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to my channel. Subscription is free. Thank you very much for watching today's episode. Bye bye.